Let me ask you something real quick. When's the last time that you thought about becoming smart? I mean, you made like the conscious effort to sit down and you thought to yourself, today I'm going to become smarter. I'm going to learn more. I'm going to become a whiz in astrophysics. Probably never thought that. Now, why is that? I believe that's because becoming smart, becoming, and we're going to use a big word here, becoming intellectual, that's a process. Instead of, just hitting the stone with a chisel and Michelangelo popping out, it's day in, day out grind. That's what becoming intellectual is. That's what becoming smart is. So how do we do that? How do we manufacture that in our lives? How do we manufacture that together? And so I'd like to propose a day of the week. A day of the week where we, you, me, everyone else, we can do this together. Now I call it Intellectual Tuesday. Now Intellectual Tuesday, that's a name we got to break down. We got to dissect really quick. It's got two main parts. It's got intellectual and it's got Tuesday. So let's go ahead. Let's go on and break down the easier part. Let's talk about Tuesday. Because Tuesday, you know this, it's a day of the week. That's not earth shattering. But what is that it comes once a week. On the face of it, that seems pretty intuitive. It is a day of the week after all. But to me, it's more than that. Because day of the week, they can be a reminder. Think about Mondays for you, right? You're going back to school. You're going back to work. You're going back to life after the weekend. And it's a constant reminder that, man, life keeps trucking. It keeps coming on. It keeps living. But Tuesday to me is a reminder of this. Is a reminder of Intellectual Tuesday. You know how I know that Tuesday is going to keep coming? It's because it's already been coming. It's been coming before me, before you, before we had something like a Tuesday. But it's been coming day in, day out, once a week. And you know what? It's going to keep coming day in, day out after you and me are gone. That's Tuesday. It's coming. It's been coming. It is here today. It's live. Now, what's so important about that? Thinking about a little Tuesday action here. What's so important about that? Is that we can take a Tuesday and we can make it our day. We can make it our day of the week. We can make it something that reminds us to be better. Something that reminds us of life, of the joys, of the fruits of existence. And to me, it reminds me of being intellectual, of having intellect, of becoming smart. Because, as I said earlier, becoming smart ain't just a thing you do. No, you can't just do it once. It's not just a flick of a switch and bam, bada bing, you're smart. No. It's more than that. It's that grind. It's that chisel. And so let's break down intellectual. Let's break intellectual down real quick. To me, being intellectual is more than just being smart, really. If you know all these facts about whatever subject interests you, and you just recite those facts, and you're an almanac, you're a talking almanac. And you don't want to be a talking almanac. You want to be an intellectual. Being intellectual is taking those facts, those ideas, and synthesizing them and putting them together. And to bring in new ideas from the ideas that you read in a book, or you read online, or you read in a magazine or a newspaper. It's taking those ideas and making them new. It's taking those ideas and making those connections that you wouldn't have done before. That's what being intellectual is. And you know what? There's no gatekeeping here. I think, and I truly do believe, is my sincere belief, that everyone that walks this earth is an intellectual, even if they don't feel that way sometimes. Everyone on earth is an intellectual, including you. And so you do that. You do be an intellectual on your own time, in your own ways, in your own life. You see, you take the things that are important to you in life and you draw those connections. Maybe sometimes it ain't something like history or science. Maybe it's something like cooking. Maybe it's something like those interpersonal relationships you have in your life, your friends, your family. Maybe it's something else entirely. But you are an intellectual. And that's why I propose that you think about being intellectual, that you think about thinking. And that's why I'm proposing Intellectual Tuesdays, day of the week. Take place, you guessed it, every Tuesday. And, you take these two things, now we have our intellectual defined. We've got our Tuesday defined. And so let's be an intellectual, you and me, real quick. Let's synthesize. Let's take these two things that on the surface have no connection. Let's put them together. Let's make something out of it. So on one hand, we have that intellectual, that the synthesis of ideas, the way that we think in a positive, productive manner, in a way that brings not only new ideas to me, but brings new ideas to you. And then we have Tuesday, this day of the week, something that comes once every 7 days, something, a reminder, a constant in our lives. So that leaves us with Intellectual Tuesday. It's a day of the week, and that comes once a week, where me, you, can really sit down. We take a piece of media, you and me. For me, I prefer books, but if you prefer magazines, if you prefer online, if you prefer a newspaper, if you prefer anything, go for it. But you take that. You take something that is not only stimulating, because anything can be stimulating, but sometimes it can be stimulating in a bad way. You want positive stimulation, and you want something that positively stimulates you. And you take it, and you read it, or you digest it, or you absorb the knowledge in that piece of media. But you absorb it nonetheless. And you see, that's the step one of Intellectual Tuesday. That really is. Step 0 was understanding what Intellectual and Tuesday are. Step 1 is taking that media, taking it in, digesting it, absorbing it, consuming it. But now for step 2. Now this is the hard part about Intellectual Tuesday here. You got to take this media. You got to take what you absorbed, what you learned, how you grew. You got to talk about it with somebody real. Can't talk to your Amazon Alexa. That won't work. You got to find a flesh and blood human being. You got to talk to them. You got to talk to them about what stimulated you, and they've got to talk to you about what stimulated them. And so maybe you have that one friend in your life that really likes shrimping. You're getting out there on them shrimp boats. You go and take them shrimp. But you yourself, you're more of a rancher. You like land. You don't like no wet water. You don't like little shrimp. You like longhorn cattle. But you think about it, you start talking to each other and you realize, your friend over there might like shrimp and you might like ranching. But at the end of the day, isn't it all kind of the same? If your friend is a rancher of shrimp, ain't you a shrimper of cattle? You've got these animals, these lives, both of you, that you take into your hands. You make them multiply. You make them yours. Not only that, you make them others. Where we get shrimp from, where we get steak from. We don't get it just off of trees. We get it from shrimpers and ranchers. Boom. Got a connection right there. If you wouldn't have sat down and thought about that, you might never made it. And so you start thinking to yourself, maybe in your own way, maybe you're a shrimper after all. Maybe you are. And your friend starts thinking, maybe I'm a rancher. And you're able to see the other side of what your friend has to say. And your friend's able to see the other side of things that you have to say. Because it's not just about shrimping and ranching. Sometimes it's things like, it's like a life. Maybe your friend has one religion and you have another. And you're able to see the intricacies and the nuances and the joys of each other's religions. It's not just religion. Maybe it's political beliefs. Maybe it's your view on other people. Maybe you're a pessimist. Maybe your friend's an optimist. And you're able to see the merits and demerits of each other's views. And that's where Intellectual Tuesday comes in, because it's a day of the week. That's a reminder to take the time to challenge yourself by giving yourself something that you thoroughly enjoy, something that speaks to you, that's something that you consume. But then you have to take that consumption and tell another human being about it. And you're able to see how they interact, how they develop with the ideas that you're planting the seeds in them of. And then you're interacting with the ideas that they're planting in you. And just like that, two people, a shrimper and a rancher, man, they become intellectuals just like that. And think about that. Think about if on one intellectual Tuesday you talk to the shrimper, next Tuesday you talk to a cook. Tuesday after that you talk to a politician. Tuesday after that you bring them all together. You got a cook, a shrimper, a politician, and a rancher all in one room, all sharing ideas, all becoming intellectuals together. And ain't that something special? Ain't that the synthesis of intellect that we were talking about? That you believe in? The one that you've been reminded of every Tuesday and that you will be reminded of every Tuesday. Ain't that synthesis? The intellect. And it is. And so I encourage you on this fine first intellectual Tuesday of the year 2022. You go out, you go consume a piece of media. You consume something. Book, newspaper, magazine, some online source. Something that inspires you, something that makes you smarter. And you go talk about it with someone. Whoever. But you talk about it. And you grow and you develop. And you have an intellectual Tuesday. And so I'm excited for you. It's a gift. Every day is a gift. And every intellectual Tuesday, that's a present. So happy Intellectual Tuesday. And I can't wait to hear about what you've been talking about. And I wish you happy reading. I wish you happy learning. And I wish you happy intellect. Happy Intellectual Tuesday.